Hello everyone, this is Liam from Slayer Games, and to start off with this video you can see we are in the wonderful map of GM_construct. And today I have a question for you, and that is, are you tired of horse-drawn transportation? Come on, it is the year 2020, no one goes by horse-drawn transportation anymore. So today, in this revolutionary video, I'm going to be teaching you on how to build the one, the only working car in Gmod 2020. This is probably the most requested video on the channel, unfortunately. Yeah, so we're gonna get into building a car that functions and does not blow up like Ford's, because we all know Ford stands for Found on Road Destroyed. So let's get into this. First, we're gonna need the chassis of our car. For this, we've chosen a rusty bed spring, because a rusty bed spring is the only acceptable chassis for our Wonder vehicle. This is what the Germans were developing in their Wunderwaffe program in World War II. Our first step is to get the tires just perfectly. Sometimes they don't want to function. Just like that. No, almost. There. Have our first wheel. And now, I need to repeat that step 4 more times, trying to get them as even as possible, because if they are not even, our car will turn from a car to a Ford. We all know what happens to those. And there we go. Now that our wheels are ready, we need to align the wheels properly. In Gmod, the wheels need to be spinning the proper direction. This is quite obvious, but there we go. Now that the wheels and chassis are together, you see that our car is beginning to take shape, like so. Next, when we go to wheels, we're going to need to set our forward and reverse parameters. So for forward, it's going to be 8. As you can see, I'm holding the 8 key, and our car is starting to turn. Starting to go. But we now have no way of steering it, or even sitting on it for that matter. So for that, we're going to go into our tools menu, and look up thruster. With our thruster, we're going to pick an acceptable one. An acceptable thruster is obviously going to be a soda can, because this is the year 2020 and soda power is now more reliable than nuclear energy. I'll place one on the right, on the left, and then one on the right. Now, our car is beginning to finalize itself. And let us begin. Actually, no. Go to thrusters. That does not seem right. Give me a second. It somewhat works. Wow, our car is beginning to take shape. The final step is to put our seat on it, because a car is not complete without the seat. I didn't mean that to rhyme. Slap that on there, and let's get our welding tool. We do not want to freeze the prop, because if you freeze it, it will just stay stationary. I don't really know how welding works, so I'm just gonna pretend to know how. What just happened? Where'd it go? What? So we found the car. It somehow decided to join the Apollo space program. But no worry. It is now the other thing that blew up. I don't know. We have our car after that momentous disaster. We have now fixed it. We're going to have now get a different seat, because that one, God forbid, is stuck in orbit. Now we must get another airboat seat. Another airboat seat. Don't ask why it's an airboat seat. I wouldn't. We all know that airboats are the only reliable source of transportation, aside from the car. Certainly not the horse-drawn. Get that in now safely, without using the easy weld tool, the standard weld tool, and lock down all the points to the car. And now, our car works. Go forward, and turn left. You can even turn right. This is revolutionary. You could put a bit more torque in the wheels if you want a higher speed, but for now, I think it's time that we outfit our car to make it look a bit nicer. Let me just go into the spawn menu. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I'll be right back. Now, with our car, we did a couple of changes to it. Added some spit and polish here and there, and most importantly, gave it a lovely paint job. I present to you the finished working car in Gmod 2020. Voila! As you can see, we smoothed around the edges a bit, gave it a nice paint job, even branded it. Some amazing LED frontal lights, and a pretty lovely grid with a car skirt at the bottom there. Let's give this baby a spin, and let's see how it handles. You can see the lovely furnished interior, leather seats, no really space in back for the kids, but who has kids? Seatbelt not on, because seatbelts are a hoax fabricated by the government, and lovely steering wheel. Let's take it for a spin. Oh, handles very well. Let's take a sharp turn here, spin around, and go all the way back. Actually, I just span out. Maybe I should have gotten my driver's license before I decided to make a video explaining how to drive a car. Or make one, for that matter. Don't pay attention to that though, that's a very minor detail. So unfortunately, that car was completely ruined, and my insurance dealership says they don't cover jumps into lakes via fence gates. I am sorry, I need to stop rhyming. But believe it or not, we actually were able to acquire a second car. This thing. Yeah. Hopping in, you can see we have a lovely view of default Gmod terrorist player model. And let's take her for a spin. Backwards. There we go. See, it's a bit jittery. I mean, yeah, it's a jittery. It's fine, I'll probably flatten the curve after a bit. Coming up here, take a sharp turn. Go back down. And we're coming in for a bit of an impasse here. And we're good. Not even a scratch. And that concludes the tutorial for working car in Gmod 2020. Now let me just take this thing. Okay, that wasn't dramatic enough. Oh, God. There we go. What? It's still alive? Okay. Well, there's only one way to deal with this. Let me just, see. Davy Crockett. There we go. Let's get to a safe nuke firing distance. Bit hard to see. Let's just fire from the hip. And that was how to make a working car in Gmod 2020. On the beautiful world of GM_construct, we have been told the one rule, and that is to never make working cars in Gmod. They're terrible, just buy a mod. Okay, thanks for watching.